Thank you. I was first of all, I'm I'm so impressed that you wrote and finished that book. I know that was something that you really, really wanted to do in your heart of hearts. But there are so many barriers to writing a book, people. Let me tell you, there are so many reasons not to write a book, and so many reasons that get in the way of writing a book. And so, Bindu, kudos to you. Well done. I'm really delighted. And so so happy for you to have published that book. And
Thank you,
with
Terry. And I
anything,
remember my SOS calls to you as well at times. Yes. Sorry, go on.
uh, um, and there's so much when we say business analysis and cybersecurity, you have to remember that business analysis is an enormous field. Cybersecurity is equally enormous. There are you know you can divide it into 220 different pieces if you wanted to, right? Business analysis very similar. You can divide that up into all kinds of different schools of thought and philosophy and practices and all kinds of things. In other words, there's a lot to write about. And so when you try to put those two together, I was really curious how you were going to knit those two complex fields of study, those practices, into a cohesive read, if you will. I'm very impressed. I also know you, Bindu, as one of the best storytellers in the business analysis community, and I love your stories. And I was expecting to read stories in there, and you delivered. You absolutely delivered. And so, yeah, that was great. I think again, as a business analyst, telling stories is really important to help convey a concept, convey a message, and convey complex ideas and thoughts. And your storytelling, of course, does that. We can talk about real technical thing within cyber, and you can get really involved at a very technical level. Um, and it's easy to get lost in that space. And that doesn't mean that that's not something we want to know more about, but what we really need to do is have a methodology, a practice, and a framework. And that is one thing that your book really helped deliver was a framework, a methodology, and a practice for how to apply business analysis in what I would say cybersecurity and risk management. So by blending, and that's the first time I've used that concept here in our conversation, but really cybersecurity, as you have so well demonstrated in our conversations, in our speech, in our presentations, and workshops, and in the book, cybersecurity and risk are uh, deeply connected, and understanding how to manage risk, how to identify risk, is instrumental in doing business analysis around cybersecurity. And I think you did a fantastic job of weaving those in a very cohesive, coherent, and a readable. I mean, very. I was like, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gobbling this up. It wasn't hard to read; it was easy to read. And I think, again, from a business analysis perspective, you put a lot of thought into writing it to make it acceptable or accessible. So nicely done.